success. The plan to win, political, is who you suck the best.
We promised drama, and the round of 64 delivered.
Oh my god! Sammy the Screwdriver coming out swinging.
We were treated to the best that REBBL had to offer, and the worst. All apple pies, going in for a blitz, and he has 1 in 9 days. The Big O have been relentless in their pursuit of glory, but can they keep it up? Now, the Division 1 winners enter the fray, with a former champion among them. The pressure is ramping up, but there's plenty more blood still to be spilled. Oh!
Pizarro, no!
Welcome to the round of 32. Limpy goes in. Have you ever seen this before? And the fourth Doctor.
Bloody hell.
The fourth Doctor dies.
No big deal, boys. We're done.
Oh, stop! What? Oh, that!
First blood?
Blower is out.
Intercepted. It's a bull centaur intercept. That is just worse.
This is a massacre right now. The tree will attack on its own here in the REBBL playoffs. Have you ever seen anything like this? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to another REBBL playoff cast. It's round of 32 time again, and we have an interesting prospect ahead of us, I would say. In the commentary box with me tonight, we have Hindus.
Hello.
And Steak Mittens.
That's me.
Here they are. How are you both doing?
Good.
Doing pretty well. We had a pretty interesting morning of playoff.
Well, hopefully we'll have an interesting evening as well. And if it's anything like the last match of these ladies that we see in front of us right now, it'll be quite something. Fallen Wonders are the only Amazon team to ever make it to the REBBL playoffs, and they wiped the floor with the Squishy Conquistadors in the last round, clearing everything but the tree.
Solo tree offense was so good.
It was something else, wasn't it?
Well, sadly not good enough for the Squishy Conquistadors.
Indeed, yeah.
I appreciate the effort, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'd certainly like to see people try these things, don't we? So, yeah, Fallen Wonders look a little bit like this. They took one MNG for this one, so we've lost a kicker, which could be interesting against the Lizards. Sarah is out, but still here, and most importantly, really, is Skylia Einer, who is the pom tackle blitzer, who is going to be a threat to anything that rhymes with rink, I think you might say.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. God, there's a lot of stats on this team.
And a lot of blotch.
And there is 0 tackle on the Lizard team, which might be an issue.
It's going to make it a challenge for Hoily Boy, isn't it? Of course, this is a 2-season-old Amazon team going up against a 1-season-old Lizardman team. As we say, 2 strength ups, an agility up, and a movement up on the thrower as well. To counter that, we do have a couple of movement busts, but one of them's on a guard player, which is fine. One of them's on a rookie, so line fodder, I think you would say.
Yeah, there's quite a few targets for that thrower too. If Fall elects to actually play the passing game, we've got a couple agi pieces and the diving catcher. So there's some options. There's some outs.
It was difficult to read his style last time, on the basis that he just killed everything.
Now,
That's a fair assessment.
To say on my screen, I have a different line woman instead of the movement bust. Looks like he spent 50k on a fresh one.
Hey, look, the movement bust is gone. It's a miracle. So now we have Toxophile Antandre, who's brand new and is still line fodder. But slightly quicker line fodder. So there we go. Let's have a look at what they're up against tonight. So they're up against Ready Lizard 1, who, as I said, were a 1-season-old Lizardman team, coached by Hoily Boy. And, gotta say, very impressively coached by Hoily Boy up to this point. They knocked out no less than the Pastry Pests in the last round.
Quite an accomplishment.
Indeed. This is the team. We do have block on every Saurus. We also have Blodge on one and Mighty Blow on another. But as we've said, no tackle.
There is an Agi 5 skink, though. And as long as that skink is alive, there's a chance for shenanigans.
There is indeed. He also has 130k in the bank and will be receiving 110k in inducements. So we'll see what he opts to go for. He's only got 11 players. So it's going to be interesting to see how much he's willing to spend. If he spends heavily, he thinks he has a chance. If he doesn't, then he's probably just trying to save the money for next season. We'll see. Hoily Boy is, of course, one of the coaches who is right up amongst the big boys in the World Cup qualifiers. Still undefeated in that. I think he's 4-1-0 now.
I think he played a game today or yesterday because he's at 4-1.
Today,
4-1-0. Yeah.
Drew against Fiction.
He drew against Papanasti, actually.
No, it's Papanasti. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think there is a Lizard Star with tackle, but he could get Hemlock out.
Yeah, Hemlock. Stab is pretty useful against the U-blotch pieces.
Give him the knife.
I mean, we don't like to encourage, domestic violence, but knifing these women is actually a good idea. Weirdly.
I mean, it's definitely better than getting Sarah and then don't stab until turn 20 or something like that.
Turns out Stab is good against low armor blodge.
Yeah. Would you believe it? So, predictions?
Well, I'm gonna actually call it for Holy Boy here, but I'm gonna say one Soros will be missing for the next game and another one will be stat busted.
That's a very specific prediction.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Very confident. If I had to pick a team to win, I think the lack of tackle on the Lizards is going to hurt them significantly, and I will go with Amazons.
Okay, if I had to pick, I'd pick the Amazons just because so much blodge is really going to hurt. Holy Boy needs to find the powers today.
Yeah, for sure.
But solid defense, of course, his team is no slower than the Amazon team because the Saurus are the same speed as the standard Amazonian woman. But it's all about getting that Croxago into play and trying to get Prehensile Tail and stand firm to turn those 3 pluses into 4+ dodges. with the dodge skill, of course.
Yeah, and the diving tackles might be very useful as well. If he
Indeed.
stays on the pitch.
Of course, if Fall produces anything like the sort of performance he did in the last round, he's going to absolutely sail through to the round of 16. That is the prize on offer here.
And there'll be almost no lizards left by the end of it if it's anything like the last game.
We'll
The
see a
game
one
is
Croxical
live.
offense. Okay, the game is live. It kicked off about a minute early, but you know what? We like that. So
Yeah, as long as it's only a minute and not an hour.
So welcome along to everyone in chat. We've got Chidora here, Dranar's here, Ornan is here, reigning champion, but not for much longer. Dr. Nick here as well, and Holes. Hope you've had a good Saturday, and looking forward to some playoff action. I believe after this one, we've got 6 hours from now, no, 5 hours from now to wait until Morka takes on A-Grain.
Yeah, I would probably have to watch that later than live.
Indeed, there's
And
a
it looks
3 a.m. start my time.
He's elected to go with the wizard with the money he has. So did not spending a ton from his own pocket there, if anything.
No, he just spent, I believe it'll be about 40k he spent out of his own pocket. Let's pick up a wizard. We'll see if he opts to just fireball some of these and see what happens.
I mean, it is armor 7. It's not unreasonable if you can get quite a few like good targets in there. Like if you get the thrower, a couple catchers, maybe a blitzer. Like if you get high value targets, that's not unreasonable.
I mean, right
Citrus and
now
Fireball.
we could get the 2 agility 4 pieces and the killer and the dirty player.
Squiggy saying that he spent Saturday afternoon being driven around in a World War II tank with his son while drinking a beer. Can anyone top that?
I spent a lot of money on plastic models and then bought groceries afterwards.
Yes.
Does that count?
Now, interestingly, we could actually just cheekily stick a Saurus under this ball.
Saurus ball!
I like it.
This game is going great already.
We do have a quick snap, and we do potentially, on a 5+ here, no, it'll be a 6+, won't it? Have a Saurus just snagging this ball out of the sky.
I believe in you, Lonic.
I mean, we also might see a touchback and then maybe even Croxico ball.
Well, that might be too ambitious, but we'll soon see. Nope, it was a 6+, and it's not a touchback.
Too bad. Too bad.
So here we go with this round of 32 match. Can Amazons make it to the last 16 for the first time ever?
Have they? I don't know the history. Have they made it to the round of 32 before?
Well, this is the only Amazon team to ever make it to playoffs, so
There you go.
Fall is literally setting all the records.
Yeah, every step is a new record.
To be fair, Amazons haven't been around for too long, so...
That's true.
Very true. He does have potential to set up a 3 dice with Mighty Blow and Block onto that line woman. Instead, just opts to pow Brazen Face here with Lizman.
So far we are doing great in the POW department. 1 out of 1.
Oh, that's a start.
It's a
And
stop.
1 for 1 in armor breaks.
Have another go, and this time not quite so lucky.
We get to 3 dice with the Crocs now if he elects to do so.
And we are already down to 1 in 3 powers.
The new line woman there doing a good job.
And this is where dodge starts to be really annoying for Oily Boy.
And you know that-
He'll be cursing dodge by the end of this.
Yeah, and that was only the dodge line woman, not even one of the blodgers. Those will be even harder to knock down.
Keeping this ball nice and safe.
Indeed. Croxigo finds nothing more than a push against
Mighty
the
push.
blodger.
Unfortunately, he can't even really put himself in a great spot either. I want to get that prehensile towel into play somewhere, and only on one Amazon is not as good as you would like.
Well, now we're pushing that one Amazon. No, we're not. We'll actually leave it exactly where it is.
Now,
Lodge doing a thing.
And now we have quite a few of those big lizards bunched up in one tiny place. Let's see if the Amazons want to capitalize on that.
Skinnyroth has the ball and is just chilling behind all of his skinky buddies there. Apparently the next round for these Amazons is either Chaos Dwarfs or just regular dwarfs.
Oh,
So they'll have to get through that for a hype video.
my best response to that is just oh. That's
Well,
that's
they
not
are
nice.
they are playing Amazons, so
But Steve, not with that attitude. You never know. Here comes a blitz onto Asaurus, strength 4. And we find a push.
Very pushy game. I'm not underestimating anybody. I'm just worried about the lack of tackle on one side.
We've had lots of talk about the Big O, of course, without wanting to spoil too many results. But what we can say is that in the matches between the two Big O coaches have won.
Surprise!
really,
Incredible scenes.
didn't expect that one.
Speaking of Big O coaches, and a Holy Crusader is here. Clearly not sleeping at whatever the hell time it is where he is.
Hello, Crusader. Well, just screening off with some Amazons. I mean, you had one good hit with the Blitz, and that's pretty much all you're really going to get here with that oppressive lizard strength getting in the way. It's going to be very difficult for the Amazons to get more than 1 or 2 blocks a turn unless they can target a Skinks.
Yeah, there's not even any guard on the Saurus yet to really start putting that into play, because these Amazons are really well developed.
But there is only there's 2 guard on behalf of the Amazons, so even with just 2 guard against all that strength 4 is kind of difficult sometimes to line up real good blocks.
We're going to try this 4+ dodge away. It's a 75% chance to succeed, and it does.
Might as well. Got nothing else to do, and it keeps you safe from a Mighty Blow hit on your armor 7.
It does, but at the same time, it does allow us to reposition that Croxigal to somewhere potentially more effective.
He's going to be able to do that anyway, really. There's pretty easy to at least push that Blitzer away with one of the Saurus.
Also, he's probably going to bonehead anyway, so...
Yeah, of course.
I'm probably expecting to see the lizards to cage up in the center here.
Yeah, they've got a lot of free Saurus that they can get behind. Downside is, big ol' Amazon screen. Difficult to get through.
You would assume that Harley Boy is going to be very, very patient here.
Yeah, he has
It's
plenty of time left. He doesn't need to.
It's a difficult game to win on attrition unless you really start rolling those powers. He does have one on the bench.
He does have, he's got 1 Mighty Blow and then 2 if you count the Crocs. So if you can get at least 1 Mighty Blow knocked down, ideally, a turn, which that wasn't, then eventually Armor 7 will fail.
I think in the short term, I would be tempted to target any non-block players. I mean, there's not many of them knocking around, but that Dirty Player, for example, even just getting 1 or 2 removals can really help.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially since you have Mighty Blow on the Armor 7. More chance to knock them down, since they're Armor 7 across the board, regardless of who you knock down. It's basically the same chance at removing one, so you might as well take the ones that are easier to hit the...
I also wouldn't hate that then committing to a potential foul afterwards if you can get 1 or 2 assists in.
Good point out, there is a niggle on Bardid MRPs here. The strength 4 line woman, so that was probably why that one was targeted. If you
Makes
can
sense.
get through the blodge, you're pretty likely to get a removal on that with Mighty Blow.
It's also important to point out that we only have 1 player bench on the Amazon side and no player bench on the Lizard, so every removal is very important here.
Yeah, for either side.
This is as we expected so far. It is a bit of a standoff.
going to be a lot of that until I imagine we find a good opportunity to make a breakaway, and then we skink our way through. It's going to be, I would imagine, another 4 or 5 turns of not a whole lot of forward progression.
Yeah, both teams taking 1 or 2 blocks a turn.
Looking for the advantage, looking for the hole that they can exploit, looking for the mistake.
That first removal could be all important.
Absolutely.
And it looks like we are looking to pile on a Saurus, or at least to knock him down. No, we are not.
Oh,
We may be looking to foul us,
we are looking at Fallosaurus.
I can get behind that.
especially
Just
since you
leave
have
the
the
niggle
dirty
player based up against the mighty blow, but we have the dirty player free, and we can get a 3 assist foul now on this spare Saurus.
Yeah, that's a dirty player foul. You have a bench, and any removal on behalf of the Lizards, especially Saurus, since Saurus are so valuable. Every removal of a Lizard player is, they're worth a lot, right? That strength 4 block, they can tie up more than one player by themselves. So
And
every
as,
removal is big.
as soon as you can get rid of 1 or 2 of those big lizards, it makes it much easier to hunt down the skinks.
Murloc Joe has dropped us a 58 viewer host, so welcome along, Murloc Joe fans. We have some REBBL playoff action going on. It's Amazons versus Lizards. It's the round of 32. It's for a place in the round of 16.
Welcome, welcome.
We're about to see a Saurus get its head stamped on.
I don't know if I've seen the Amazon fouling animation.
Then you don't have played enough against Amazons, because they usually are pretty aggressive with fouls.
I've only played Amazons once.
Here comes that foul. And interestingly opting not to dodge away from the Blodgesaurus here.
Dump.
3 assist foul. And we have a stun.
Well, a stun is still something.
No send-off, so you get another chance at those fouls with that dirty player. This only really leaves 1 block against the Amazons for the Lizards, and then the Blitz, or 2, sorry. And then
3
the
by
Blitz.
my count, yeah. So we've got 2 here and a Blitz. So that ups the odds of us finding a POW. Of course, this one here is a rookie, so a both down would also work on it.
Yeah, I
As much
probably
as-
would have liked to see the line woman actually make the dodge after the foul.
There's a really good spot he can get his Crocs in right now, too. It's going to hit 3 Amazons, and it'll also provide
there it
an
is.
assist. Will also provide an assist on that niggled Amazon.
She gets away with it. 1 short of the armor break there. Roxigo is away to this side. So Hoilyboy spotting there's perhaps a bit of room to maneuver over here. Taking a blitz
yes.
on the guard, and again, nothing doing.
I mean, the guard is still stuck on the Crocs, which is not too bad.
It's got 3 Amazons in the Crocs, which is, pretty good. You're tying up 3.
And since he already has Stand Firm, it will be hard to push him away as well.
And since there's only 2 guard on behalf of the Amazons, if you can get a couple Lizards near that Crocs to prevent adding of assists, it should be really difficult to knock over the Croc.
Let's see how aggressive Hoilyboy actually wants to go here.
He can certainly push up this flank right now and try to apply a little bit of pressure. He might not actually mind the quick score too much. Just because he's sat with a wizard in his back pocket. He
That
may
is
be
true.
looking to score early, and if he can get himself 2-0 up at half-time, it's a different game entirely.
I mean, in this round of 32, we've seen that same idea of play before, and let's say it didn't all work out too well.
Well, without the Wizard, I'd be against it. But since you have a Wizard, you still would have, 4 turns to try and Wizard the ball away and then utilize the recovery of that Agi5 skink to try to make it 2-0. I don't hate it. But without the Wizard, I would be very cautious of an early score here.
Well, my point here is, if you get forced to score early, sure, do it. You have the Wizard, you're not in a bad position. But I'd still be looking to score pretty damn late, if I can.
So we have Skinks moving into position.
Sideline cage. sidestep though, and Thoris in front, so pretty good. And normally I'd be looking for scoring late, but if you're happy to dedicate using a wizard just in the first half of the game, I don't hate scoring early and then making sure you utilize that wizard to either ensure that it's 1-0 or ideally go up 2-0.
Yeah, but you could do the same thing in the second half.
It's true.
Yeah, Cunning Fox Pup saying that guard as a first skill on a killer is interesting, but I think I agree with Onan there. It's likely that there was a different killer who is now dead, so we needed to build a new one in a hurry. And that is where Skylia Reiner here was born. Now we have one exposed skink. We'll see what Fall opts to do here. If he wants to pressure the ball, he'll move most of the team this way. He does have the option to use some of his guard to take a hit with the pom tackler on that diving tackle skink. Although, to be fair, he wouldn't even need an assist.
Yeah, the killer is available, and I feel like when you're going against lizards, you want to take every opportunity you can to target those.
There are only 4 skinks, and only 2 of them have any skills.
And diving tackle is pretty significant when your entire team has dodge. And you're likely to actually be doing those dodges.
That said, that might end up with the killer being quite far out of position.
We are not using the killer at all.
I think we're looking to punch Lonik here, the Bloxorus who is the most forward.
The positioning of the Amazons would suggest that. A couple assists, one of them being the guard piece.
I mean, I'm still not quite sure why we didn't go for the Mighty Blow Blitz.
I think he wanted the wrestle
Yeah.
to make sure that the source goes down, potentially fouling it again, but you don't have a whole lot of assist.
Yeah, I don't think, if you're looking to foul, the other one is quite far on the other side. I'm not sure if you're interested in fouling this turn.
We do now have quite a bit of tackle in the way. And I still think you commit to a foul somewhere with that dirty player.
I mean, my issue here is that you can't really get a good one. You can get a 1 assist foul on the Saurus, and if you want more assists on the other Saurus, you would have to commit quite a few players to the side of the pitch we're currently not playing in. So I can see why he decided against opting for the foul this turn.
Yeah, you'd have to commit a lot of people to it, and it's fairly easy for lizards to reposition. They are pretty fast.
I mean, we can't even get a 1 dice on Lonky Long the Bloxorus.
He takes a 1 dice on the Croxigal, and he takes it down.
Stunned. That's a pretty significant stun, too.
Yeah, that does allow him to bring a blitzer with guard here round the back and sort of box those skinks in a bit.
And that's a little bit my issue with moving this aggressive this early on. You're quite boxed in, and there aren't too many good options to get in a safe position again.
There is only one Amazon, really, that Agi one, sort of blocking your forward progression currently. But with so many of your lizards off to the other side of the pitch, it's going to be actually kind of difficult to make that hole, even though there's only one in the way.
Yeah, and if we decide to go forward, we are basically forced to score pretty early. Which, again,
Basically,
with the
turn,
wizard isn't too bad, but it might not be ideal.
I'd expect this last player to just tag this Saurus on the floor, just to stop it from repositioning. It's far more likely that Fall will be able to dodge away on the next turn.
That said, I might not hate just marking up the Bloxorus. No, that's fine. Decides to mark her down.
It's going to be difficult for Hoylibwe to go forward here without any free players, but...
There is a POW!
Found one. just a stun, but to match the Croc stun. He could reposition back more towards the middle, but
There
that's
is
not really great.
a very, very solid play on here if he wants to score. Hear me out. Bring your Saurus around, blitz the guard Amazon, and you can push, chain push your Saurus onto the wrestle tackler who's in your way.
Yeah, I don't think scoring here is the big problem. The question is does he want to score?
4 turns is not terribly difficult for Amazons.
He has sort of opted for the play, but instead he might actually just surf this blitzer here.
And we have been talking about how important removals are, especially since this is one of only 2 guard pieces. Surf is pretty big if it results in an injury.
A removal is a removal. Doesn't matter if he doesn't get the 2 SPP for it. There, oh, now he's offered the POW instead.
And now we are actually in a tricky position. We have to either retreat or offer up 3 skin kits.
He has to retreat now. He has to go back to the
you
middle.
can't really stay where you are right now.
Yeah, I think the injury was more about either forcing Fall to use the Apo or just not having that guard blitzer for the rest of the game when it's one of only 2 guard pieces.
That was the one time he didn't want to POW that Amazon, isn't it?
I think so, and he found one.
Foul is an option, but at the same time he's only got 4 skinks, and I don't know how willing I am to foul, given that I've only got 4 skinks and none on the bench.
Difficult, especially when most of your skinks are actually... There's only 1 rookie one, right? No, there's 2. Not unless you can get a really good foul. It's got to be something that's worth a lot to be worth the risk of losing one of your 4 skinks.
Now we could actually try to serve a Saurus here if we want to. We would need to commit quite a few players.
Yeah, it would be this one here, that's sort of behind enemy lines. Lonic, that would be the one at threat. But you'd have to commit, as you say, you'd have to commit a lot of players to get that job done. Other option might be to see if we can find a way to gang foul the Croxigor, but again, that involves taking down just your 3 Saurus.
I think if you're looking to foul, you're more likely to target the Lonic, the Saurus, who is behind lines, who would fall down next to quite a few tackle zones already.
I don't hate dedicating a lot of players to strip that Saurus. It kind of bypasses the armor 9, right? And then any removals are big because there's no lizard bench.
Yeah, and it looks like we committed the players anyway to only find a push. I actually would have liked to see the attempt at the serve.
Yeah, and the lizards are going to score this half anyway. It's going to be very difficult to stop them from. So even if you dedicate players, I think it's not bad, especially if you can get a bypass on the armor into an injury out of it.
Being said, that guard blitzer is still in trouble over there. Much like the Saurus, she's behind enemy lines and is going to struggle to get out.
And that's a big target too. I mean, lizards have their strength 4, and the guard is how you counter that. And there's only 2 of them. So those are big targets for them.
Well, you can also counter it with 2 strength 4 players of your own, of course.
Well, yeah, that's true, I suppose. Forgot about the stats.
There is a POW on a Saurus. And we'll see if that becomes a foul target for the dirty player. There's 1 plus movement, strong arm, accurate thrower on the bench, waiting for the offensive drive. Can get... Oh, hang on. We are going to take a 4+ dodge to blitz a skink, and we're going to POW. Vault skink number 3.
There's a POW. And an armor break.
And the removal.
Not bad. Not a bad result at all. You can put the Amazon on the player, the skink, if you'd like now, but it does require a GFI.
It was Stunty what did it. It was a 7 on the injury. And that is the difference between that removal and the stun we saw on the Amazonian before. Solid play, and applies a little bit of pressure to the ball with the GFI too.
not too difficult to get away from it, but it's still dice that your opponent has to roll, and every dice your opponent rolls is a chance to make them fail.
Holy Boy is probing, isn't he? But he's struggling to make an impact on this game.
Yeah, the Amazon wall is being troublesome to get through.
I'm very interested to see where he takes this now, because he does have quite a few options here where he actually wants to go.
We may well commit to this foul.
I don't like committing to the... Oh, we are.
I don't mind it.
The problem now is there's a way through the center if you get knocked down on the sidestep piece.
Nothing doing on the foul. The Saurus survives.
Yeah, this does. If you can find a knockdown on the blodge step player without tackle, you can
sure,
get to the middle.
that's not an easy task, but I probably would have preferred to see the dirty play on the screen instead of the foul.
We do have a free hit on the killer, by the by. What, you wouldn't trade for a POW there?
Yeah. Well, he's got 3 rerolls and 4 turns left. I mean, there is the option of the sort of semi-greed reroll to make sure you get the POW there. At least have a better chance at it.
Very, very cagey half. And of course, you're talking about blitzing players up the field. There is a player stood on the ball carrier.
Yeah, but I don't think the agility 5 skink with dodge would have too big of trouble to get away from there.
It's a 1 in 30.
Famous last words.
I mean, it's basically the same, right? It's a 1 in 36 to dodge away with dodge.
It is.
It has blocks.
But it's a 1 in 36 that you can re-roll if you roll double skulls.
That's true.
Still, I think blitzing the guard piece here would be a mistake. Because you do need to make positioning on the field as well. Only securing the ball doesn't help you too much there. And we are running a little bit out of time here.
Croxigo is up, and the Croxigo is marking the diving tackle player.
Yeah, 4 turns left. Still plenty of time, but starting to get to the point where you need to think about what your plan is for scoring.
Right now, Holy Boy, I think, would just like to hit something and remove it. I haven't seen a single Amazon leave the field yet.
Seen some armor breaks, but nothing permanent. Or even temporary, really, other than stuns. I imagine we utilized that Mighty Blow somewhere.
Ooh, there we go.
Well, that was close.
Yeah, 1-2.
Skinny Roth runs away to the other side, and we're going to try and get down the left-hand side of the field.
Well, there are 3 of the Amazons on this side of the field that are tied up by Saurus currently. It's not too bad. It's pretty easy for them to get out once again, but there's more of a hole over here than where there was, so I don't mind this at all.
Mighty Blow Blitz is going to come all the way across to hit the strength 4 and push it to one
Mighty
side.
push.
A push on the strength 4 piece is still pretty decent. Following up is interesting.
And we don't find the magic POW, but we can push it on the Croxigo, the killer.
And that'll basically mean no killer blitz, or a very difficult one anyway.
Indeed. Solid decision not to follow it up, and I think you would follow that by putting your last Saurus in here, just to prevent any 1-dice opportunity. There's now 3 players on the Croxigo yet again, although, that being said, there is a guard player behind the lines again who can become very useful. In fact, you could even 2-dice to Crocs if you wanted to commit your Agi 4 around the side to stand in this spot as well. And
that would free up at least 1, potentially 2, depending on how you do it, Amazons. But is that worth it, committing that many players to free up 2?
I think there's a pretty decent spot here with 1 GFI next to 2 block Sauruses with your guard piece.
It's all going well so far for Fallen Wonders, and they'll get to hit some Saurus too. If they can find a removal lead, it'd increase the numbers advantage on the field to 2. And they'd leave Holy Boy in all sorts of bother. That being said though, as long as the ball's in the hands of an Agi 5 stunty player, as long as he can get sort of within this area of the field, he can probably score.
Sometimes you just got to roll a handful of 2+.
And there's the knockdown on the Crocs.
Didn't go with the killer, so the killer is still free now. Now he does have the option here, if he wants, to take a 3+ dodge to try and bring the killer through to target a skink. It need a couple of GFIs as well. Oh, here we go.
Casual armor break.
Just a stun. But that's a stun on the Mighty Blow player, which is really, really scary.
This is really going to slow down the Lizard offensive here too.
Yeah, well, with no tackle on the Lizard side, the scariest piece they have against the Amazons is that Mighty Blow. And that's one more turn without getting hit by Mighty Blow.
Yeah, I think we might see another sideline cage here soon from the Lizards.
By my rough count here, I believe Holy Boy's only rolled 3 knockdowns in the whole half. Maybe 4.
Yeah, Blodge doing a thing.
And of course, forward positioning really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are going to target a Saurus, and we're going to knock down Lord Leaper. That might mean we're setting up for a foul on the Croxigo here. 3 assists, dirty player.
Yeah, I still think you will need to make sure the Lizards don't get away.
Not a good positioning on behalf of Fall to not give away too many blocks. And the ones that do get given away tend to be on Blodge players, so being pretty safe there. Doing good work for the Amazons.
I think he is looking to foul here. But I think he's also offering a side of the field where if he wants to send the Skinks forward, he's got a tackle player ready to pounce. In fact, he can, again, if he's willing to commit the Agi 4 player to a dodge, he can get a 4 assist foul in the Croxigo. We'll see how he wants to approach this. Dirty player still hasn't moved, and when a dirty player hasn't moved by this point of the turn, you begin to think it's because they're lacing up the stomping boots.
Dirty player doing dirty player things. You'll see. One more assist possible. The Agi Blitzer. If we elect to stomp on the Crocs.
Got a decision to make about this spare Saurus here. We are committing to this foul.
We are going for the foul.
That indicates a Croc stomping to me.
And if we don't get an armor break here, the Amazons will be in trouble.
We don't, and it's a send-off. That is Snake Eyes.
That's about as bad as that possibly could have gone for the Amazons. Now there are 4 Amazons on a prehensile tip.
Who just stood up without any drama at all.
Who would have expected that? I would have expected that.
And we get a knockdown here as well. Into a stun, so there we go. It's something, an armor break.
Well, it's a knockdown, which is the hardest part here. Makes it, and that leaves quite a bit of room for the Saurus and the Skinks to advance if they'd like to.
Is this the opportunity that Ready Lizard 1 have been waiting for?
Yeah, you can go down the side with the skinks. They've got sidestep, and then you have the free Saurus that can sort of provide a screen, or at least tie up some of the Amazons that are off to the side of the field.
Yeah, we can get a pretty good sideline cage going here. Tying down the blitzers.
Yeah, exactly where I expected them to go. We do have the guard piece that could help get the Amazons through here, but if that guard piece is guarding rather than blitzing, then he's not blitzing with the killer piece, which is a win.
And we can also mark down the other tackler, the Agility 4 wrestle tackler.
And with
Skinny
the
Roth
Saurus
is
in the back.
moving into range. Dive and tackle, of course, at the front as well. But we have offered up potential to knock over these Saurus. And potential for the cage dive.
I imagine we're going to see the Agi 4 wrestler getting marked by the Saurus off to the side.
Yeah, so look at all three rerolls, so you might as well start launching GFIs at the problem here.
That's just an extra dice that the Amazons will have to roll if they want to throw into that cage dive.
And we didn't even need the rerolls, so this is now looking much better. So do we think that was maybe an overcommit on the Crocs foul?
Well, I said it before that I didn't like the Crocs foul there, so I'd definitely say so.
Suddenly, things are looking much better for Hoily Boy.
It was a 7+, which is not unreasonable. I don't hate it. I just think that was the punishment was bad. Like if it failed, it was really, really bad for you. So I think the fear of failure there is bigger than the potential success.
Imagine the Crocs is gone now. You're still in a really bad position on the pitch.
That is true. You have a lot of Amazons committed to this, but a lot of them were already kind of there anyway. It was I think only the Agi one would have been able to be somewhere different.
Yeah, the G1 could have been more back in a position to do something, and we could have had the dirty player in the spot where he could actually screen instead of being sent off.
We might see a reroll here.
Yeah, I think we reroll here because I think we're looking to cage dive here, which now is a lot harder.
We got Agi 4 wrestle tackle. But it now requires 3 dodge rolls. Well, 1 dodge roll if you go in the hard way.
Now with the reroll reviews not finding knockdown, I wouldn't hate just blitzing off the skink, the cage corner.
I would put tackle onto the skink, onto the ball carrier if you just blitz off the cage corner and follow. It is Agi 5 though, so and there's plenty of rerolls. We'll see what Fall elects to do here. A couple of options.
We need to get some players off that tail. But he can't really do that until, if he wants to make the big play, he sort of needs to make the big play before he starts dodging players off the tail. So, we're in a bit of a catch-22.
He can fairly safely dodge the agility one.
It's a difficult situation. It's one of those situations where there's a lot of things you want to do, but a lot of them have a chance of failing, and there's not a whole lot of safe moves first you can really take.
I think my play here would just be to accept that Hoily Boy is going to score.
I think
And
we're
target
going for the
escape.
cage dive.
But that's
I think I'd
blocking
be-
the route in. Unless you're going all the way round the back for the cage dive, which seems crazy. But we're about to see what the plan is.
It's a failure. Looks like we were going around the back doing the many easier dodges rather than the one hard one, but did not work.
So that's actually going to allow Hoily Boy to stall this out to turn 8.
Yeah, I don't like not at least repositioning the agility 4 piece, for example. I mean, you could argue, I know dice don't work like that, with a 1 and a 2 you wouldn't have made any of those dodges.
Sparesaurus and a spare skink means we should realistically be able to stall out another turn. And then Hoily Boy will have the wizard in the second half, and suddenly Fall has a lot of work to do to win this game.
Yeah, I actually think Hoily Boy is in a pretty good position right now.
Yeah, scoring as late as possible is a fairly big win for the Lizards, keeping the wizard for the defensive drive.
And only getting one skink KO'd. While you have a send-off on the Amazon side, so...
Yeah, if the KO comes back, we're on even footing.
Next question becomes, can we find a POW?
Always the question against Amazons. Not a POW.
The answer is no.
Not on the first try.
Let's try again.
I think you want to move the skinks first.
Probably.
So dive and tackle is in play, and it is very difficult to get in there. And there's a POW from Lizman.
Yeah, the skinks are positioned in a way where if they just happen to get well, even if the skink wasn't sidestep, if the Amazons just push on the ball carry, force them.
And here's another one.
This one's an armor break.
It's an injury!
Brazen Face is finally down.
And that's a removal. And that's actually a real removal, considering there's a sent off Amazon as well. Down to 10.
Looking better and better for Hoily Boy.
His patience has been rewarded, as we've said. One dice go. One dice go.
Crunch.
Stun
Turns
swords.
over. But it's only a stun.
Imagine if that was an injury. It felt so bad.
At the beginning of the game, I really would have expected there to be more removals on lizards. I think the Amazons played this whole drive a little too passive, a little too defensive, and then going for the removals in the wrong moments.
Well, they played defensive very well until they suddenly didn't, and then they've been massively punished for it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
At this point, you probably just bring your palm and tackle blitzer in to hit something and hope it sticks.
Yeah, you give up. The Lizards are going to score, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So you might as well do your best to try and make it easier for you to score on your half.
I'm wrong. We're going to target the Croxigal again.
Down it goes.
We might be looking to get dive and tackle in there somehow. Can we actually reach there?
Well, the dirty player is sent off, so that threat is gone.
I mean, you can get the diving tackle on the ball carrier like in the most technical sense possible.
Yeah, I checked it out myself, and it seems unlikely. Now,
it is
Okay, we should officially
technically
say,
possible.
yeah, it is possible.
now I don't really see why we didn't use the Mighty Blow piling on one for the blitz.
You
Well,
want
it was one strength less.
Yeah, but what else are you doing with the remainder of your players?
Yeah, but why not just blitz one of the Saurus? It's still the same chance to break armor. They're armor 9, and this way you get to use the mighty
He's
blow.
going to foul the mighty Blowosaurus. That's the plan.
Let's see if it works this time.
We've got the brand new line woman. Remember that we replaced before the start of the game.
That's true. I don't hate this. You know that the lizard's going to score, and that mighty Blowosaurus is one of the scariest pieces the lizardmen have against Thons.
Yeah, the only thing I disagree with is not blitzing with your mighty blow piling on piece.
4-assist foul produces a knockout. And no send-off.
2 chances for that knockout to come back, so it's fairly likely, fortunately for the Amazons.
Holyboy doesn't even consider taking a 3-dice blitz and helps himself to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I think the playoffs are not the place to take the 3-dice blitz.
One skink comes back, but the mighty blow stays out for now.
We're going to have another shot at it, but that's 1 of 2 that the Amazons are hoping for.
Now, we technically have a movement 7 thrower. Is the 1 turn possible?
Well, I like the term Stigmatins used earlier. Technically, it's possible.
Yeah, in the most technical sense.
Practically, we'll see.
If Holy Boy likes to leave the stand firm Crocs on the line, it'll be very difficult to squeeze out a 1-turn.
Squiggy with a very specific chance for the 1-turner for 1-9.
Never tell me the odds. You know, unless I ask for them, which I think I just did. So, tell me the odds.
He already did. You're behind. You're behind
What?
Amazord.
Shut up.
I think the sensible play here is you set up in case of a quick snap or a riot. No, can we get a riot? Yes, we can get a riot. But if you don't get a quick snap or a riot, you're just looking for the damage.
Yeah, I agree
Would
with
be
that.
my line of play here.
Yeah, the 1-turn is essentially impossible. It's not really impossible, but it's so difficult that it's probably not worth banking on. Aim for damage, and if you happen to get a riot, then utilize it.
It looks like we're setting up for damage. Do we happen to get a riot? No. Oh,
Perfect
dear.
defense. Well, let's see what Holyboy does with it.
Well, the 1-turn was never an option anyway with that roll.
Nope. He can move off so that at least the piling on mighty blow Amazon will have to be the blitz rather than a regular.
The ball is in the crowd, which would have helped. This doesn't really prevent the blocks coming in, it just moves where we're taking the blocks, really.
That's true.
Would you foul, is the next question.
I don't know. I don't think I would. I think they're too, with being already down players, and none of these are the most valuable pieces in the world. I mean, the Crocs is big, but I don't think I would be willing to risk it here.
Actually, I think if you foul one of the Sauruses, simply because they don't have fixed skull, which makes an actual removal a little more likely.
Here comes a knockdown on Big Liz.
But I might be
Absolutely
wrong.
there. Don't really know who we found with. We need to free up that spare line woman again. It's the only rookie who isn't a blitzer left who can move.
I don't know if I would foul here. I'm really not sure, honestly.
I mean, the chances are pretty slim, to be honest. But on the other hand, I think you need to try something here. because it's not looking great at the moment for the second half.
Blitz is available. Blitz will be taken, and the Blitz produces a knockdown on Lunky Long.
I think we will see a pylon.
I would imagine so, considering that's an armor break.
No, we don't think
never mind,
we will
it's
see a
okay.
pylon.
With 2 Saurus knocked out, statistically only one of them is coming back. That is a good thing. We'll see. He has the movement to go and assist the foul, so we're about to find out if that's the plan.
Still needs to free up the rookie linewoman.
No, it's the plan.
We are going for the foul.
All right.
It'll be a 1 in 9 dodge, essentially, for a 6 assist foul on a Croxy goal.
Well, if this is a removal, it's big, and if it's not, if he gets sent
also
off,
big.
it's even worse.
Big either way, this. Unless it's just a stun with no send-off, in which case it's really quite boring.
Yeah. Matters none whatsoever.
I mean, that was the expected result.
That's true. But it's not the exciting result in this.
Vanity pass is good, and this is going to be 1-0 at half-time. 2 very important knockout rolls coming right up, folks. One comes back, and it's not the mighty blow.
That still helps the Amazons.
The Mighty Blow being still out is really good. It's one of the scariest
Yeah.
pieces against the Armor 7.
So by my count, that makes it 10 versus 10.
Even game still.
Now the questions Fall has to ask himself is he playing for overtime, or is he maybe even looking for a quick score?
He's against a wizard here.
That
He
is
needs to
true.
be very careful.
And if you try to play for overtime and you wait till that turn 15, 16, there's always the option of the wizard to make it very difficult for you to actually even it up.
I think none of the options he has available are great. That's why I'm asking the question of him of how he wants to play this.
And a late score is ideally, I think, what you want to get in place.
An extra reroll for the Amazons will be useful in overtime format. We now have 4.
But I think you can't wait until 15 because of that wizard in play. So you're probably going to be looking for 14.
First block against the Croxigore brings down Big Liz yet again.
And the problem with the turn 14 score is you're giving the Lizards 3 turns to score with a wizard.
It's not a
And
good situation no matter what you do. You can't leave it too late because of the wizards, but if you don't go too late, then you're giving lizards 2 or 3 turns to score, which is more than enough for skinks. It's not a great situation to be in for the Amazon.
I think I might be tempted here as the Amazons to just go for the quick score, 2 or 3 turns, and
Hope?
hope that the Wizards screw up their offense, are forced to score early, so you get a 2-turner yourself again.
I'm not being funny here, but if he sets up for a big foul on that Croxigore, we might see a fireball yet.
I really don't expect a fireball from Holy Boy.
The fact that Saurus did not go down
He still has a
makes
blitz.
that unlikely for me. That's true.
I think a greedy fireball here would be a waste. The threat of the wizard is much greater than the potential removal you would get.
But it
Especially-
could just be so glorious.
Yeah, of course it could be glorious in 5 kills, but
If that Saurus had gone down, and the Amazons elected to go for the, I don't think they will go for the foul because that Saurus isn't down. But if that Saurus had gone down and they went for the foul, I wouldn't be super against the fireball. I don't think it's a right decision, but that's like 4 of the Amazon's best players in a group. There's 2+ strengths. There's the both guard pieces. Even 1 knockout there is pretty significant amongst those players.
We're going to go and collect the ball first.
I think still think Hoily Boy is in a really good position, and I think it would be the wrong decision to go for a greedy fireball if we would have ended up in that decision. Simply because it could have gone very wrong. And as you are not in a position where you need big removals, I think the value of the threat would be greater than the value of the potential.
He's going to foul it,
removals.
so I don't know what we're talking about.
Fair enough. I mean, I agree with Hindus, though, in that I think that it's not worth it. Like, I don't hate it, but I think the correct play is to hold on to the wizard and have the threat.
Knocked
That's
out
a
the
big
cross.
I think we
knockout.
see the Apothecary here. Yes,
Appos
I
the
agree with
cross.
that decision.
Now, interestingly, you can't fireball it because your own Saurus has stood there.
I think the threat of the wizard is a much greater tool for Hoily Boy to have.
What I was
than
going to
a
say
removal.
is that it's a sensible decision to leave 2 players in the backfield. And I will tell you why. Because if you bolt and remove the current ball carrier and there's no one else, everyone else is on the halfway line, the lizards can actually outrun you to get that ball.
Well, and that's the biggest strength of the wizard. It's not necessarily the use of the wizard, it's the threat of the use of the wizard that makes your opponent change what they're doing. That's the biggest strength that money spent, I think. Makes your opponent play differently. And that's something you can take advantage of.
We'll have another free hit on this guard blitzer, and we can push that into another hit. So we'll have 6 dice to try and find a POW on the blitzer.
Well, 6 dice times a 1 in 6. You'd expect it.
There it is. Didn't need the last ones.
Statistics.
Gotta love it. Blitzer's fine, of course.
I mean, if we were looking for the attrition fireball, we could have looked to blitz more players into that same area, remove your Saurus, and then go for the fireball at the end of the turn.
I suppose that's true, but I mean, I still think holding on to the wizard is a better
Yeah,
plan.
as I said earlier, I 100% agree with not using a fireball.
Like, I think the only time I'd ever really use a fireball in this matchup right now is if you had like 5 to 6 people in it, and all of them, or at least most of them, were really significant players. And it's not going to be a very common occurrence.
Honestly, if I'm the Amazon coach, I'd almost be trying to tempt out the fireball.
It's a good point.
The big problem of clumping up like that is you're giving the lizards the opportunity to move around all those players, get pressure on the ball, and maybe if something goes wrong then for the Amazons, they could be in a even worse position.
Yeah, considering the lizards do sort of out-movement you as the Amazons, it's dangerous to get yourself stuck up in one area of the pitch and leave lizards with room to play.
So the Lizard Apothecary is gone. The Amazon Apothecary is still in play. And the Amazons do have the +1 fame, by the way, here as well.
It is an extra resource the Amazons have, that Apo.
We're going to go for the Blodger. There's a POW. And we might follow up for the pile-on here. Although no armor break in the first instance suggests that we won't bother.
Yes. We did decide against it, I think.
So that's not an
Diving
assist. But it is dive and tackle on a dive and tackle.
I was going to say, dive and tackle face-off.
Yeah,
I dare you to dodge! No, you dodge first.
They just stand there until turn 16, stare at each other. I mean, of course, the Amazon could just take a 2 dice at the skink, but
Shh, don't bring your logic into my fun.
Moving the ball up. We are going down the left-hand flank, which, as Jeff pointed out in chat, there seem to be more space down the right, but we're coming this way instead. We now don't have the resource to foul the Croxigo anymore, but from that whole adventure, we did manage to burn the Apothecary at least.
And that's worth something, especially since you didn't eat a send-off.
Cheesex, welcome along. It's been very tactical, this one. We've only got one Kaz for the Amazons. The Mighty Blowsaurus is knocked out, but it's been one of those strategic games rather than things that have been full of wonder and fury.
We've set off the age-old argument in chat about attrition fireballs.
They'll be at it all night.
I mean, the attrition fireball has its place, and it is in the Open Invitational. I don't think it has a great place in competitive Blood Bowl.
It's a lot of fun, though.
Yeah,
It
it's
certainly is.
fun. It has its place.
Die. Both down. We'll leave that Saurus exactly where it is.
The situations are few and far between where an attrition fireball is better than a lightning. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but like 90% of the time, bolt is their option. Like I said, I think the best option is just having the wizard and making your
just
opponent
use the
play
threat.
like there's the wizard, right? Threat of a wizard is a very serious thing.
And Lava Jackal, if you believe in your ability to roll absurd dice, why would you need to roll an attrition fireball?
How comes in on the dive and tackle catcher here? This is going to be interesting. Oh, that's a big, big injury there.
Do we see the Apo?
I'd be tempted. I'd be very tempted.
It's not the most valuable
you
piece.
have to play this as if, there is the Apo. You
Yeah,
have
I
to play
think
this as if you go into overtime, I think.
if you want to win this, you have to apothecary this. If you're saying, I don't think I have high chances and would rather protect my players, then you wouldn't use the apothecary.
I think the bigger question
Oh,
is...
double skull. So it's a reroll gone for Ready Lizard 1.
4-2 in an overtime format, that's not insignificant. I think the bigger question with the Apo is that the player you want to use it on? I know it's not about pixel hugging, it's about how valuable the player is to you. Right? Like that thrower, that agi player, that killer might be more valuable to you.
Simply the fact that you're outnumbered already would make me use the apothecary. To be honest, I probably would have used it on a line woman that got badly hurt.
Lava Jackal suggesting you might have taken the double skull there. The only issue being it was the one Mighty Blow player on the Amazon team.
And you're then offering up a free hit on your skink, which could lead to all kind of bad things.
Such as a dead skink. With no Apo.
That is one of the bad things that could result, yes. I think if the Amazons can hold on to their rerolls, they're in pretty good shape for overtime that can make it go that far.
That wizard is still a big threat, though.
Absolutely. The threat of the wizard is the threat of the wizard. The Amazons have to play around that, certainly.
Yeah, considering, definitely, you should always consider it. But I think the reroll was worth it there.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
We're stepping the guard up. We're stepping the strength 4 up. And we're going to take a hit on Asaurus, and we're going to push away Lone Leaper. follow-up does allow for a tackle hit on a skink, if you're willing to make a dodge. And it's a fairly leery dodge, so that was probably a bad idea. However, we can opt to block down the blitzer, but it's you've got to knock down a Blodgesaurus.
And you're either committing another assist or doing a 1-die to do that. And as we've seen this game, sometimes finding POWs is difficult.
I think the Amazons might have played this a little too fast.
Here comes that blitz. That's more like it. Double POW on the Blodger. Easy, right?
I mean, if the Lizards can do it, why can't the Amazons do it?
As straightforward as you like, and Lizman is knocked out. And that is the two Saurus that have a skill beyond block who are now knocked out. Mighty Blow and Dodge are both gone.
Well, just prove me wrong, Fall. Prove me wrong. POWs are hard to find. Thump.
He found
Double
two of
POW.
them there.
That's mostly my experience with casting things or talking about teams. I say something, I'm like, that'll be hard to do, and then they just do it. Every time.
My experience is you say they might do that, then everybody tells you you're wrong, and then they do something different, and
Everybody
make your
reminds you that you
predictions
were wrong.
useless. Yeah, exactly.
Dodge away. Brings the other guard back into play here. That's as far as we're going. So we're not even setting up a scoring threat here, which tells me that Fall's mind is on overtime.
Well, with the reroll advantage, it's something you definitely probably want to aim for. You can keep that reroll advantage. Overtime is good for you.
Yeah, but the big question here is, does the slow score make the overtime more likely or not? I like playing it cautiously, but this will be very hard to bring into overtime.
Oh, we've snaked a dodge.
That
At
certainly
least the
helps.
skink is still alive. But this opens up options now.
No Amazon's taken any hits there, and that does potentially open up a hit on the Agi5 skink.
I definitely 100% take that.
Because this is a totally different game if you get rid of that thing.
And you can take it with your tackle piling on Mighty Blow play. This is where the Amazons say, well, forget doing anything else this turn. I'm not trying to go forward. My whole goal is to punch that skink in the throat.
And then pile on it and stomp on it if you have to. I'm not sure if the turn order here was perfect from Holy Boy. But
The problem
he's
here is
still not in a bad position on the pitch necessarily.
that blitz is too slow to get the guard in to make it a 2 dice on the Saurus. He'd have to
Yeah.
consider a 1. But I think a 1 dice is worth it to have a go at that skink. I'd commit a reroll to pushing that thing away so that I can have a go at the Agi5 with the Pom tackle blitzer.
Yeah, if you make it a 2-die, you're blocking the space that the blitzer needs to run through to hit the skink.
Yeah.
So the blitzer will either have to do dodges or you're taking the 1-die.
Are we going to take that 1 dice? This is such a high value target here.
But you re-roll both down on the 1 dice.
I wouldn't reroll both down. I'd only reroll a skull. If it was a both down, which it isn't, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. And Mr. RG5 Skink is in trouble.
Here we go.
And this I would commit a reroll to. If you roll double push here, I'm rerolling that all day.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Do it. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name, but let's go, Blitzer.
Here we go. Double pow yet again.
Ooh.
Crunch. No armor break.
Snake
Double
eyes on the
ones.
armor, jumps straight on its head, and Skinny Roth is absolutely fine.
One double pow into 1-1-2-1 for armor rolls.
Wow.
Can't have everything you want, I guess.
You have to stop on it.
Absolutely worth that, though. There's no world in which that's not worth attempting.
Now do you stomp it?
I'd consider it. I think the best you're doing is a 0 assist foul, though.
You can get 1 assist foul. We're also committing to the Croxagon here. We are committing strongly to the
And that
Croxagon.
means we won't see a foul.
Yeah, I can't imagine we would.
I doubt the ball carrier or the strength 4 piece will commit to the foul. It would be cool, but I doubt it.
Those armor rolls were absolutely appalling.
Yep, 1-1-2-1. Found the double pals, couldn't find the armor.
Put that many pieces on the Crocs. You'll leave your ball potentially exposed if the Crocs doesn't go down.
The problem here is that the Crocs stand firm, so you have to break the armor now. Or he's just going to stand back up again.
And that's 4 of your players stuck up on the Crocs. Another one on the ground. One based up on a...
Look at the fireball potential.
You're just baiting the chat now. You just really want them to yell at you about the fireball.
I might have taken the both down here.
Look at the fireball potential.
It's one of those things where if it works, it basically just wins you the game. But if is the big question, because if it doesn't work...
It's a lightning bolt.
Boink.
And that is a potentially alright scatter, actually.
The big
it's only one
issue
tackle
here for me is that you don't have the 35 skink for recovery.
Well, you do. It's agility 5.
You can get there. It's just a lot of 2+s unless you do some blocks first. And there's only one tackle zone on the ball, but unfortunately that one tackle zone is strength 4, so you're going to need to commit a...
Okay, let me say it this way. You can't get to the ball and then run away with it.
Not very far. You can get 2 squares away with 2 GFIs. That's even more 2 that you probably don't want to roll if you don't have to.
I think the wizard here was an overcommitment. I think you had a decent shot at the ball without the wizard.
Yeah, it was a lot more dice, but you could have if you pushed away the edge, if you knocked down the Agi Blitzer, and you got down the strength catcher, you would have had a hit on the ball with the Saurus. But with the number of pals that Hoily Boy is rolling, that's a big act.
Well, the wizard's now gone, and we didn't even remove the thrower. We got a stun. Well, considering the rolls that we saw on the armour of the Agi5 Skink, probably feel fair enough that.
Now watch it kill itself on a failed 2+ dodge. That would be fun.
Now we can blitz away that Agi or strength 4 line woman if we free up one of the 2 Saurus that are on the blitzer, and that would let the non-Agi Skink pick
There
up
is a
the ball
Saurus
in
you can bring
relative
around the back
safety.
here.
He would need a GFI though.
Not if he just wants to put it on the ball, which I think is the plan right now. Ensure the safety of it before doing anything else. Because like you said, no matter which skink you pick it up with, you do not have the movement to get much farther away. So you want to make sure that if that pickup fails, or even if it does succeed, the skink is safe at it. And that frees up a Saurus that you can use to blitz off the tackles on the ball if you...
Well, by my count, he's also going to need a GFI.
That's true, yeah. Not taking it?
No, we are setting up the potential cage corners.
Making a safe spot for a skink to go to if he can get there. That's still going to be a lot of rolls.
I think the
In any case,
5 skink will try.
this is a pretty good spot for the lizards in any case.
No knockdown there. But the Agi5, click on Agi5 skink, click on ball.
A lot of rolls, but they're all 2+.
Are you ready to watch the magic happen?
I believe. There we go. Agi5 stunty.
How do you stop that?
You don't.
2 GFIs are all good, no reroll needed, and suddenly, Ready Lizard 1 are in a commanding position.
That was 7 2+. 4 of them had built-in rerolls.
He didn't even need the dodge skill.
Even with the result, I'm still not the biggest fan of using the wizard this turn. The scatter was really favorable for the lizards here. It could have just as well ended up in a few tackle zones or even in the hands of one of the Amazons.
That's so many dice rolls, but even with all those dice rolls, if you're willing to commit a reroll to that, that's still a 74% chance to work. That's insane. Agi stunties are really stupid.
This was
so
a
everyone's
different
aware.
game if we'd managed to break the armor, having both hit it with Mighty Blow and piled on with Mighty Blow. But
He got
alas,
rid of the Crocs.
the Crocs takes a third armor break of the game.
Now, the agility for
There is a shot on ball
wrestle
here.
tackle.
He just needs to one dice the Saurus out the way with the rookie line woman.
It's a 4+2+2 dice. I think you don't even bother with trying to get the Saurus out of the way.
It's not a 4+, it's a 3+2+. You just dodge next to the Saurus. It's Agi 4, so it's a 3+2+.
Ah, yes, sure, I chose the wrong path. That's... The problem is you don't really have a way to recover the ball.
No, but we need to get that thing on the floor. At the very least right now.
Yeah,
Or Hoily
if that-
Boy just runs us in next turn.
And then that is basically game for Hoily Boy.
Yeah, we definitely need to go for the ball here.
Yeah, as we said at the start, anything is possible. There's always a chance for the lizards to pull out some magic with a wizard and an Agi5 skink.
For some reason, my prediction of 2 Soroshes getting injured seems a little unlikely now.
It was an incredibly specific prediction, I have to say.
I mean, if you're in it, you might as well go big.
Go big or go home?
Exactly, and I mean, it looks like I predicted the right winner of the game.
Well, it's
So
not over
far.
yet.
Yeah, just saying it looks like it.
Don't count your lizards before they hatch.
But I like counting lizards.
He shouldn't roll anything else here. He just needs to go for this now. See if
Yeah.
it works and then work it out from there. But I think he's going to block the Saurus down.
I'd maybe
he's
be
not.
tempted to move the guard around next to the skink just in case.
The problem here is that we're using up players that could be used for ball recovery. We've only got 3 players left now.
And unless you armor break that Agi5 skink and, remove it, just knocking the ball out of its hands isn't going to accomplish anything.
Gonna go
It's
for
just
a 1 dice, is he?
I don't like it.
No, we're just going for this. We're going right round the long way. And that's not good enough. That is. Can we hurt the thing this time?
If we don't, it's a couple of 2
Yes,
pluses away from
it's
taking the ball.
knocked out.
Ooh, that's a big deal for the Amazons.
And she has the ball. What a play there from Agame Doris.
That's a thing that happened. What were you saying about the lizards?
Commanding spot. What?
They are still in a decent spot here, to be honest.
That's true. I'm just trying to give you hard because it's all about the banter.
Game is back alive, as Jamus correctly points out. Game status is switching from dead to alive again.
We've observed the game. The waveforms have collapsed.
Problem being that there's still 2 skinks in range to score.
And
there's a
the
Freesaurus. And that is the Freesaurus. And that is not good enough. And the reroll is good enough with Wrestle. Oh, there. Well, the reroll's gone. A 3+ and 2 2+, although you probably wouldn't take the GFIs, to be honest.
I don't think you would. You do anything else you can, and then you try the 3+ and hope.
There's a pair of pows on the guard blitzer.
Crunch.
Crunch indeed, but just a stun. Ball in the hands of Liz 47.
And the game has switched back to dead.
Game
Well,
status is potentially dead. The only way you can get out of range is to score.
That's true. But the only player who's really in range is not wrestle or tackle.
Or anything. Except
Yeah.
dodge, but we need a hero.
Don't make me sing.
now I want to hear you sing it.
I haven't had enough beer for that.
So we aren't going to score this turn. It's all going to be on the rookie. The rest of the team are way, way too far back down the field right now. Problem now is that I believe we've only got a 1 dice on the ball because of the position of that skink. You can double GFI to mark that assist so you can get a 2 dice. But again, the issue is going to be recovery of the ball.
I
You
mean,
can make it a 2 die with GFIs and a dodge. If you come in from the left angle, the skink there, but you're gonna have to dodge and GFI to do that. I think it's worth it considering you don't have tackle and it's a dodge step skink. I think you need to have the chance of knocking it over, but then you don't really have the movement to attempt to recover it if it bounces poorly afterwards.
This game is slipping away from Fall and the Fallen Wonders. He needs a big old play yet again.
We had one. Can there be another?
Remember, it's Chaos Dwarfs or Dwarfs on the menu for the winner of this. Rage Dwarf against Snow White and the 6 Chorfs. That's Unseen Walker against Bleeding Hippie. Is going on tomorrow. And the winner of that will face the winner of this, which you'd probably say at the moment is about 90% going to be Hoily Boy. Two GFIs to mark the skink. Second one
that's
fails.
the reroll gone.
Now you don't have the reroll for this block on the skink.
I think we had to do that. The reroll's gone, but we now have 2 dice to find a POW. Here we go. It's all on this.
Nope.
And
That didn't work.
Nope.
Hoily Boy runs it in, and Ready Lizard 1 are on their way to the last 16.
2-0. With not a lot of time on the clock left for the Amazon.
Say, this is an impressive performance from Hoily Boy, making a bit of a statement here. I don't think many people gave these Lizards a good chance to win this.
No. And all three stay knocked out, including the Mighty Blood.
There might actually still be something in it if we get a riot.
It's, 2 turns left for Fall. He needs a riot into a 2-turn, into a blitz, into a 2-turn. Somebody
It's
call
not
Morker.
impossible.
That was a lot of ones. Those were all ones for the wake up after KO rolls. Like we've been a fan of saying this game. Technically possible.
Honestly, you might be fine with your Agi5 Skink being over there right now.
That's true.
Well, we have a few LOS blocks. We might see my prediction come true.
I've said it before, Hoily Boy is a dark horse in this tournament. Do not underestimate him. I think he would probably prefer to go up against the Dwarfs than the Chaos Dwarfs, just because Claw is the natural predator of the Lizard. Get the ref is not good enough, and the Squig Sandwich Chaos set is not even a thing.
Yeah, I think we will see now Lizards getting punched and then fouled, and that for 2 turns.
Yet again, we knock down Big Liz. And this time, it's knocked out. This Croxigal has some poor armor.
I was expecting another stun, so we could say, yet again, stunned, but the game disappointed me once again.
Because none of these hits have even been on Mighty Blow. Problem being, we didn't get a riot there, which means that this is done.
Yep.
However, we can try to leave a mark on some Saurus here.
I considered rerolling that. At this point, you're only looking for damage, and the Mighty Bell piling on piece is your best source of damage.
Well, he can still score on that Strength 4 catcher.
Yeah, we could two-turn, but that's unfortunately not really good enough when you're down by 2.
It's not good enough, but it lets him level his Strength 4 catcher ahead of next season. And that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but say you're not going to use your reroll anywhere else. Might as well reroll for the damage.
And I just want to see this thrower actually throw.
Now, Havoc saying that Crocs has done absolutely nothing, and yet it's been the key player.
Sometimes
it was
doing nothing is all you need a big guy to do.
It was drawing in all of those players to the foul on the Crocs that gave Holy Boy the chance to score.
As anybody who's ever played Nurgle will tell you, sometimes all you need to do is have your big guy just stand there, and that's good enough.
I would actually say, as much as the Agi5 Skink, that Croxigal probably been the second most important player on the field.
I would agree with that.
But that's more because of Fall's attitude towards it, if that makes sense. He was determined to get rid of it. He did in the end, but it's eaten all the attention it needed to.
Yeah, I would have preferred for him to just stick a line woman on it and ignore it.
Now, as Hoily Boy, do you... Never mind. The question is that for me. I was going to say, do you spite blitz the the Strength 4 catcher solely for the reason of preventing Fall from leveling him with the score?
And why would you? You would prefer him to go for the score instead of just going for damage.
But there's a lot of free Amazons. One of them could be the easy scoring threat. Just if you're going to blitz one of them, blitz the one that levels entirely out of spite.
This is very much a token gesture right now. Holy Boy is waving the path through for Fall to get his touchdown.
We haven't seen this throw yet, so I'm looking forward to it. Throw.
Do we know who won the toss in the beginning?
I don't know.
Well, that is not how to score. But it might be how to level it anyway if you can injure this skink. Which we can't.
Skink armor actually has been really incredible this game.
It's been remarkable.
And that's a
Oh,
double.
Oh,
dear,
Sneak
oh
it.
dear, oh dear.
2+ re-rollable. Double ones. Insult to injury.
We're going to hit that strength 4 player back. And I
Not good
imagine
enough.
That's it.
we're just going to hit end game right now. There is nothing else to be achieved. Fallen Wonders have fallen at the second hurdle.
Farthest an Amazon team has gotten.
It is, but that's Ready Lizard 1. And they're going to level up a Saurus as well. Maybe take some tackle. Although you're playing against dwarfs or chaos dwarfs.
Yeah, I think you would
So-
prefer some guard.
Yeah, guard probably.
Yeah, take some
Get a level on
guard
the
so
bolts,
that Saurus can be the one who gets targeted first. But no, that was a fairly commanding performance actually from Holy Boy, despite only getting 6 armor breaks in the whole game, managing to win that one 2-0.
Not a whole lot of knockdowns, really.
Really, when you look back at the game, the Amazons were never really in it.
No, not really.
Never got close to scoring. Their defense was solid until they committed to the Croxigor, and then suddenly the defense was weak.
Well, a lot of their players off to one side, as Hindus pointed out.
Leaves Holy Boy 1 win away from a hype video. But
That's
considering it's a 1 season old Lizard team, do we think that's one step too far?
Nah,
I
it'll
mean,
be fine. It'll
as
be
a
fine.
one seasonal Lizardman team, I'd wish Ready Lizard 1 the best they can hope for. And I want them to go far. I'm
Big
still
ask.
sad I got Miros Kato in the first draw.
Yeah, we say there were only 6 armor breaks, but there were only 9 POWs rolled the entire game for Ready Lizard 1. Considering the
Well,
entire other team has dodge,
He
not a whole
got
lot
a
of
few knockdowns on both downs as well, I believe.
there's only 7 of those, but I don't know how many of those were knockdowns.
So that's another one done. So you've now got to wait, I believe it's around 3.5 hours for the next one. And that is going to be Morka taking on A-Grain. It's Wood Elves versus Nurgle in the Wood Elf / Nurgly part of the bracket. If Morka wins, he's guaranteed to face even more Nurgle in the last 16 because it's Metal versus Stauticus in the other section of that bracket.
Yeah, that top quarter of the bracket is Nurgle, 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 Wood Elves. Enjoy.
Have all of the fun you like with that.
The bottom half is Chaos, Nurgle, Orcs, and Necro.
So, who do I owe thanks to tonight? Well, there was someone who just threw some bits at me there. It was Iron Adept with 101 bits. Here is some money for some casts, he said. Thank you very much. Murloc Joe dropped us a big host. Gypsy Prince has followed, and Pensival has followed as well. If you are new here and you have enjoyed the show and you've enjoyed what we offer here at REBBL, then do feel free to hit the follow button, or indeed get yourself over to our subreddit, reddit.com/r/rebel, and get yourself signed up for Season 9, because sign-ups are open. And, well, you're welcome. You are certainly welcome if you want to join. Other than that, where can you watch the Wood Elves? Who is covering that game? I believe it's Crusader.
Yes, Crusader in about 3.5 hours on Holy Crusader.
Yeah, Crusader and Synergy will be covering that one for you. And you know Crusader, he will let you know when that's going down. But that one starts at 2 a.m. UTC. It's School of Dance versus the Royal Rumble Boys. The Royal Rumble Boys, of course, notable for 2 players. A-Grain beat Andy Darvo in the previous round. So that's no easy feat, is it? But notable for 2 players. The Undertaker, who is the best dodging Nurgle warrior you've ever seen. And John Cena, who is, of course, invisible. Watch out for him. Not that
How can you?
You can't see him. It's crazy.
You have to use your nose. You have to smell him.
Pretty easy with Nurgle.
Very, very true. Right, so Hindus and Steak Mittens, thank you very, very much for the co-cast there.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, I always like it when lizards win.
Yeah, we've got more lizards going further into the playoffs again. And yet, I don't actually think I've ever done a lizard hype video. Which is interesting. Lizards are prone to falling at the last 16. We'll see
We
if
can
it
change
happens
that
again.
this season.
We certainly can.
Some of them sadly fell earlier.
Well, there's plenty of them here, so there's more chance for them to fall. Dreamify, drop a link into the Rebel Discord. Feel free, if you're not in the Rebel Discord already, and to be honest, most Blood Bowl players, I think, are these days. Feel free to hit that link, and Crusader will let you know when that cast is about to start. It's twitch.tv/unholycrusader for that. I'm going to leave you with the round of 32 hype video thingamajig. I will be back tomorrow. I've got a double header tomorrow, actually, at 4 o'clock, 1600 UTC. It is Ragedorf versus Snow White and the Six Chorfs to see who plays the winner of this. And then following that, all going to plan, assuming he gets back from holiday in time, it's going to be the Nurgle off between things that make you go, ugh, and grungy desserts featuring all apple pies. Don't want to miss that one. The worst player in the entire competition, as you're about to see. Catch you all next time. We promised drama, and the round of 64 delivered.
Oh my god. Sammy the Screwdriver coming out swinging.
We were treated to the best that Rebel had to offer, and the worst. All apple pies, going in for a blitz, and he has 1 in 9 dates. The Big O have been relentless in their pursuit of glory, but can they keep it up? Now, the Division 1 winners enter the fray, with a former champion among them. The pressure is ramping up, but there's plenty more blood still to be spilled. Oh!
Pizarro, no!
Welcome to the round of 32. Limpy goes in. Have you ever seen this before? And the fourth Doctor!
Bloody hell.
The fourth Doctor dies!
No big deal, boys. We're done.
Oh, stop! What?
Oh, that.
First blood?
Blower is out.
Intercepted. It's a bull centaur intercept. That is just worse.
This is a massacre right now. The tree will attack on its own here in the Rebel playoffs. Have you ever seen anything like this?